All right, guys, so this is our second stage at Hard as Hell. It's technically stage 7. We don't shoot them in order. So before you ask, the reason we don't shoot them in order is every squad starts at a different place.
We're squad 6, so we started on stage 6, and now we're on stage 7.
Which means this is our second stage. This stage is a very ambitious stage.
This isn't physical like the last one, this is shooty.
No, very shooty, but very ambitious. You start in box A, and there's a pistol spinner in front of you. You spin the spinner. While moving to box B, you engage paper targets. When you get to box B, you engage another pistol spinner. Then you go back to box A, and while moving, you engage pepper poppers.
And I think in our video, the angle's hard. I don't think people are going to be able to see those little poppers, but there's three little poppers between the spinners.
You engage these pepper poppers. Then you run up and over a hill, engage a bunch of paper targets with your pistol, get to another box, box C, and from there you engage a longer range, third
pistol spinner.
Pistol spinner. Once you spin that spinner, you ground your gun, pick up your rifle, take your rifle off your back.
Right, it's slung on you the whole time.
Load the rifle, engage a bunch of paper while moving through a course of fire. You get to a fault line, go prone, and there are 4 teeny tiny auto poppers and a rifle spinner at 150 yards.
Yep.
At 150 yards, a rifle spinner in a red dot looks like a little black speck on a stick. So this is going to be a very challenging stage.
Yeah, I just hope we both finish it.
What's funny about this is that the third pepper, or the third spinner for the pistols at what, 50 yards?
About that, it's far.
We see people at 2 Gun in Tucson time out on the spinner with a rifle at 50 yards.
Yeah.
And the rifle spinner is at 150,
Yep.
and the pistol is at 50.
Yep.
This is gonna be a bitch.
Very tricky. Hard as hell, you might say.
Let's see what happens. Over. Drop it. Hold on. Seconds.
Move on if you want.
Leave it.
Move on to rifle if you want. You're gonna run out of time.
I'm out of ammo.
Yeah, go.
You can move out of the box.
Which way you going?
Left.
Alright.
Time out.
Was that time?
Yep.
Fine.
Damn.
And you had a bad Glock mag.
I had a bad Glock mag. I'm really bummed I didn't even get to really try the rifle.
It's interesting, both of us could have skipped a spinner and done better.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I know it's windy. We're trying to do our best with the conditions. It is what it is. We just got finished with our stage 2 of the match. Stage 7 of the match, technically, but it's with the second one we shot.
Yep.
And let me tell you, we said this during the introduction. This was a very ambitious stage design.
Yeah.
And when we shot it, I would have to say ambitious was an understatement. This was brutal.
Hard as hell.
Well, it was brutal. So what it is I did really well on the pistol spinners.
Yeah, you did. You made those things look easy.
Pistol spinners went over for me. I didn't look and I didn't count, but somewhere between 8 to 10 rounds, which is a good pistol spin. And I did that with all 3 pistol spinners. Knocked down the pepper poppers, blazed the paper up there, got my rifle. Was really slow in getting the 60-round drum in just because I had to get it unslung and all that. That is what it is.
Yep.
Blazed through the rifle. Actually did okay on the auto poppers. By the way, these auto poppers are 150 yards.
Yep.
And they look like little black rocks.
Yeah, pretty much.
With a red dot, they literally look like a little black dot. The fact that when I hit the auto poppers, I was like, all right, woo, we're doing okay. And then I burned up the rest of my time, all of it, shooting the spinner.
And the rest of your ammo. You emptied that 60-round drum.
I emptied the 60-round drum, and I was hitting the spinner and got it to the point where it was at a 90.
You could kind of keep it horizontal.
I kept it horizontal, never got it past horizontal.
Yeah.
I should have quit. The guy said, you have 40 seconds left, and at that point, if I wanted to game this, the answer was, I quit, because the penalty was 60 seconds for the spinner.
Yeah, you would have come out like a minute ahead.
But that's not my goal, and it's not how I play, so I reloaded and kept trying. I timed out at 240. I only left one target standing, which was the spinner, for a time with penalties of 300.
I also would have done better if I'd given up on the last pistol spin.
You should have given up on the pistol spinner.
Yeah.
Because by not giving up on the pistol spinner, you gave up a bunch of auto poppers.
Yep.
And even an attempt at the rifle spinner.
Yeah.
So what happened with you?
I was bummed. My goal was I wanted to clean everything.
Of course.
And I actually I'm fairly happy with my performance on the first half. That first bay, I took longer than Carl on the spinners, but that's to be expected for me. I was very happy that I cleaned them both without much trouble. Got the paper, got the steel in there, that was easy. And then the problem I had was that third pistol spinner. I must have been hitting it, not on the edges of the plates, but kind of in the popsicle sticks.
I said I was going to spring something on you, and I'm going to do that now. And I don't know that you noticed this. There was a number of times where you said, well, I was hitting it regularly.
Was that the plate behind it?
It was.
Yeah, they put a steel plate behind it, and I'm not entirely sure why.
They put a steel plate behind the bottom plate
Yeah.
of the spinner. And normally when you're shooting a spinner, there's three things that give you cognition that you've struck the target. One, you might hear it go teek.
Right.
That's the most normal. Second, you might actually visually identify a hit. Or third, you actually see it move.
Right.
Which is not always predictable.
Well, I appreciate that. It turns out I was actually not even hitting it.
No, you did hit it a number of times, but there were a number of times where you hit the plate behind it, and it went teek, which gave you the thought you were hitting it, and it was very insidious because that means you don't know how, not you, but it means you could read your sights wrong.
Right.
Because you think you're reading them right, and you're reading them wrong and hitting the plate behind it.
at any rate, I wasn't willing to give up. I ended up stopping because I literally ran out of pistol ammo. I also had a magazine that malfunctioned.
You found a unicorn defective Glock mag.
No, that is a defective Magpul Glock mag.
I've heard that.
And so that thing, we'll deal with that later. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Not going to use it again, that's for sure.
Right.
Screw that thing. Beyond that, I was just bummed I felt like I didn't even really get to the rifle part.
No, you got to the part where you got to put on your cool guy bipod.
Yep.
And barely use it.
Yep. And I fired like 3 shots. I got one hit.
Well, you neutralized the spit, 1 auto popper.
Yep.
Then you shot at a second auto popper, but didn't hit it.
Yep.
And you timed out.
Timed out.
So what you get there, this is bad. The penalties add up fast.
Oh, yeah.
The 2 auto poppers not engaged at all become failures to engage.
On long range targets, that's 40 seconds each.
The spinner not spun is 60.
Yep.
And the auto popper you missed was a miss at 20.
So 160 seconds in penalties on the back, plus another 60 seconds in penalty for not getting the last pistol one. That comes up to 220 seconds plus a part-time, I had 200 seconds of penalty total somehow,
So
plus 240 of actual raw time.
So you landed up with a time of 500.
What bums me out is I felt like I was just on the verge of making a nice run of all those auto poppers, and then I was really hoping that I'd be able to spin the target, the spinner.
They did not misadvertise this as hard as hell.
Yeah.
This one wasn't physically hard, this one was shooting hard.
Yeah, this was in no way physically difficult.
The last one was physically hard.
Yeah, it was.
So, interesting. I don't know what's coming next, but let's try not to time out.
Yeah.
By the way, though, timing out here is common.
Oh, yeah.
And what you're left with is not that you timed out, or maybe your whole squad timed out. It's when did you time out?
Yeah.
Did you time out halfway through? At the end? Did you time out on the last target?
Yeah.
Timing out at the last target is a better score than timing out on the first target.
Yep.
And so timing out doesn't necessarily mean you're out of anything.
No, it really doesn't.
Timing out here is common.
All right, well, I'm bummed, but next stage is a new stage.
Moving on to third stage for us.
Let's move on.